So you're thinking about moving to Seattle? You've come on a good day. Because I'm hanging out with my friend Lindsay, who is a native, right? And we're gonna talk about all things about moving to Seattle. So we're gonna get to it right now. So Lindsay, without further ado, tell our viewers who you are.
My name is Lindsay Cole. I, as Rob said, born and raised in the Seattle area. I am a broker. We are in the same office at Windermere. And I'm also a general contractor. My boyfriend owns a single family residence construction company. And so we build houses.
Yeah, cool houses.
Wait a second, hold up. I got so into talking to Lindsay that I forgot to tell you who I am. Well, my name's Rob. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in Seattle. And we get calls from people just like you every single day looking for help on making their move to Seattle. Whether it's next week, next month, or next year. Across town, across the country, or around the globe. Give us a call. Check our information out in the description below. Give us a call, send us a text, send us an email, or even set up a Zoom call so we can see you. But we would love nothing more than to help you make a smooth move to Seattle. And now back to the show.
And you're building your dream house.
Yes,
right?
we are building our own house right now, which is super exciting.
Yeah. So let's start there. So you said it's in Newcastle.
It's
right?
in Newcastle.
So for context, if people like, well, where the hell is Newcastle?
Yeah.
Tell people where that is.
Newcastle is just south of Bellevue, just south of I-90 off the 405 corridor. It is a super small town that feels very much like Bellevue, squished right in between Renton and Bellevue. What's super special about this is it's right at the base of Cougar Mountain. If you start to learn anything about Seattle, we do love to hike. And Cougar, as we call it, is a mountain that's really close in with a ton of hiking trails.
Yeah.
We basically live at the base of Cougar Mountain.
Nice.
And it's so fun. It's like 5-minute drive to any trailhead.
Yeah, and there are thousands of trailheads.
Right. Like very close.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and is Seattle a dog city, a dog-friendly city?
Yes.
So all these trails, you're going to have your
Absolutely.
dog. They're welcome, right?
Yes. My dog will be on a leash just because he's crazy. But yeah.
Nice. So what made you pick Newcastle? Was it the property? Was it actually Newcastle? What was it?
Yeah, Newcastle I think is darling. I love that it's a small town feel. You know, Bellevue is huge. It's a really big city.
Yeah.
Renton is just south of that. It's a pretty big city as well. For us, it was really about family. My family lives in Renton. Mike's family lives in Bellevue. And I wanted to be south of I-90 because that's kind of where traffic gets a little bit sticky.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, especially those exit like Coal Creek. It's a nightmare.
Yes.
And I've talked about on our previous videos the traffic, right?
Yes.
And it is what it is.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of grin and bear it. I think it's changed with the pandemic.
For sure.
Probably starting to, as companies are opening up and inviting people back to the office. I think traffic is kind of on the uptick again.
Yes.
Would you say that's true?
Yes, I would.
It is what it is.
I know.
But from Newcastle, you're a quick shot into Bellevue, even if there is a little bit of traffic.
Absolutely.
Not 10 minutes?
Sometimes not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you are commuting from Newcastle to, say, downtown Seattle for work.
Yep. Super quick.
Yeah, 15, 20?
Yeah, unless there's a really bad accident on the bridge. Yep. It's going to be probably 20 minutes. You're going to get into a little bit of traffic right before you get into the city, but it's a pretty easy commute. It's pretty central, which is
exactly
amazing.
And that's why, we live a little bit further east of Newcastle out here in Issaquah, but we feel central as well. If we want to go skiing, we're not very far from ski resorts, we're super close to getting into the city and taking advantage of all the things out there.
Yeah,
right?
I totally agree.
We've talked about Eastside versus Westside in other videos with some of my other friends. What's your take on that? Eastside or Westside?
Well, I'm an Eastside girl, for sure. And an interesting tidbit, I have family who's from Spokane, so the east side of the state. So when you talk to someone from Spokane and you talk about the east side, they think you're talking about them.
Yes.
Not the Bellevue, Kirkland, Issaquah, Redmond area. So that's kind of a funny thing, but I'm definitely an Eastside girl.
And, for here on, for east of the Cascade, west of the Cascades, East side versus West side means East side of Lake Washington versus west side. West side is all Seattle.
Yep.
East side is Bellevue, Redmond, Issaquah, Sammamish, all those cities.
Yep.
But again, to your point, it's context, right?
Yeah.
It could be mountains or it could be a lake. But
Yes, exactly.
And do you think there's a rivalry between the two?
Between the east side and the west side of the lake?
Yeah.
For sure.
So-
oh my goodness.
So how would you explain to somebody who's maybe never been here, what's the difference between the west side and the east side?
Well, it's interesting. So being from here, it's different now. You know, Seattle was a big small town, and it is a lot bigger now than when I was younger. So back in the day, it was that Seattle was the city, and the east side was a lot more suburban.
Yeah.
A little bit country in some cases. It's not really that way anymore. Bellevue's a big city.
Totally.
So you can still get that city urban feel in Bellevue, in Kirkland, in some of those pockets. So at first I wanted to say that it's an urban, Seattle or the west side is very urban feeling, but you can definitely get that on the east side now. For me, it's traffic and parking.
Oh, parking.
Parking.
Yeah, parking's a nightmare out down there.
Yeah. I am the person who will just find a parking lot that I can pay because I want to park right away.
Yes.
I have a girlfriend who I went to high school with. She's from here. She lives in Seattle, lives in Ballard, and it's a challenge for her. She loves to find free parking. She does not want to pay for parking at all. So she will find her parking spot.
So it's a challenge of
Yes.
like, okay, I'm on a hunt.
Yes.
And she probably gets a high from, I found the
my
parking
gosh.
spot. Yeah,
Yes. I
that's
often
hilarious.
ask her why we're friends, but
But, I've talked to some of, on previous videos, people about the public transportation.
yeah,
And it's expanding.
for sure.
I mean, Bellevue's going to
Absolutely.
open soon, the light rail.
So it was supposed to open this year, 2023. I think it got pushed out because of
Did
the
it?
pandemic to 2024, but that's going to be huge. It's going to be so easy to just hop across the lake to go to a game, to go to work, to go to a convention. So it's
100%.
going to be a game changer for sure.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a lot convenient, and you don't have to worry about the parking and all that type of stuff.
Yes.
So speaking of sports,
Yes.
so as you have learned, I am not a sports guy. We have multiple stadiums downtown. I could not tell you which sport goes with which stadium. Not gonna lie.
I love it.
So I know you've had box seats before,
Yeah.
right? So tell me about what's the sports scene in Seattle?
So we are Mariner fans for
Okay.
sure. Baseball is my sport.
Oh, it's not soccer?
It's not soccer.
That's the Sounders.
That's the
I
same.
got one
I'm
right.
so proud of you. High five. So we definitely love the Mariners. Super excited for this season that's about to start. They're going to be really good.
Nice.
You know, it's very exciting. Okay, for all of the Seahawks fans that are super mad at me right now, I love the Seahawks. I just can't go to a football game in a stadium. I lose the ball. I have to watch it on the TV
Got it.
because the cameraman knows where the ball's going.
Right.
I wouldn't have a clue. The Sounders, our soccer team, they're amazing. We have a hockey team now.
The Kraken.
The Kraken.
I wonder how people feel. So let us know in the comments how you feel about that name. I remember, what was it, last year, 2 years ago, that
It was probably more than that, if we're being honest.
the pandemic.
This is their second year.
The pandemic has like squished everything together. I don't know. I don't have no frame of reference, but I do remember there was a lot of controversy around the name of the hockey team. So if you're watching this, what do you think of the Kraken? Is it a cool name? Not so much. I don't know.
What do you think?
All I remember, and I'm going to date myself, is the Clash of the Titans movie. Release the Kraken. It's that big squid thing at the end.
Yeah.
Remember
That's from that movie?
Yeah.
I thought it was from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
Don't go by us.
No.
Let us know which movie it is. Maybe it's both.
I love the name. I think it's great. And then let's not forget about the Storm,
Oh,
our basketball team.
yeah. Yes.
They're great.
Can you
They're
tell
very
I have
good.
no idea what she's talking about? I'm not going to lie. They're probably looking at this like, he really has no clue.
I love it. I just hit my microphone.
You're fine.
I am also from Kent,
Okay.
so I love the Thunderbirds too. That's our minor league hockey game, hockey team.
Okay, I didn't know that. I learned
Yeah.
something new today.
Yeah.
And Kent, for context, is So if you're thinking about between where Bellevue is and 405 and 90, the interstates connect, Kent would be south. So you've got Renton and then you've got Kent. Would that be fair to say?
Yep.
And then you've got the airport down in Tukwila.
Yep.
Or
well, SeaTac.
Sorry. But all of that to say, I mean, 20 minutes to the airport.
Yeah,
Easy.
absolutely.
And the light rail does run there.
Yes.
So that's cool. Well, so, kind of carrying on that theme though, what else do you like to do downtown? I know you said when we were chatting, you're like, I don't go downtown very often, but like if you had out of town visitors coming in, they're like, I want to see all the things that Seattle has to offer. Where would you take them?
Absolutely. So I love our waterfront. I love Pike Place Market.
Yes. Pro tip, it's Pike Place, no S.
Yes.
If you say Pike's Place, you will be immediately ostracized as a tourist.
It's true. Although I do think a lot of locals call it Pike's Place also. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I was corrected very quickly upon landing in Seattle and going into the office. I'm like, I'm going to go to Pike's Place Market. They're like, no.
I would never correct you.
Oh.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, so you're saying Pike's Place Market. Pike Place.
Pike
Yeah,
Place.
it is.
Uh-oh. Maybe I'll correct you now.
There you go.
I love Pike Place. One of the things that's really cool, I love Seattle. I'm an Eastside girl, but we have such a beautiful city.
Totally.
One of my favorite things is waterfront, Pike Place. I still love the Space Needle. There's so many things to do down in Seattle Center. I love a ferry ride.
Yes.
Bainbridge, Whidbey, Vashon.
Absolutely. And those are all islands you can take a ferry to. And it is such a great day trip.
Yes.
And you can walk on.
Yes,
which is
absolutely.
also nice. You don't need a car upon getting off the ferry. It's all walkable.
Yep.
And so many things to do, so much scenery to enjoy.
Yes.
You might see a couple killer whales out in the Sound, which is super cool. But yeah, definitely, especially in the summer.
Absolutely.
It's breathtaking.
Gorgeous. When it's sunny and the mountain's out, I sometimes forget, when it's sunny and you can see the Olympic Mountains, the Olympic Mountains are over on the peninsula. I forget that they're there sometimes because in the winter it's so cloudy, and when our city really shines, it's pretty gorgeous.
Well, and I remember saying when I would drive downtown every day to go to work, and you'd see those crystal clear mornings with the skyline of the city and then the Olympic Mountains in the background on a clear day. It was absolutely stunning, and I thought, I will never get sick of seeing that.
Agreed. Yep.
It's so pretty.
And it's, I've lived here all my life, and I'm still surprised, and I'm still in awe of it every time I see it.
Speaking of surprises, my dad surprised me. He thinks we live on the coast, the Pacific Ocean.
I know.
And I think, I'm like, no, there's like a big body of water, then mountains, then the ocean, right? So I think it's one misconception of the city, right?
I still call Puget Sound the ocean.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know I have a lot of friends who are like, that's not real. It's salt water.
But you see, in the summer, you see all the cruise ships coming in, right? And they're going to Alaska or other points. And so it's easy to think it's a big body of water. That must be the ocean. No. So kind of carrying that theme about surprises, what leaps to mind for you about something that might surprise people when they move here? Anything?
I would say it doesn't rain every day.
Yep.
Now, it's hard to say right now because it's March right now, and it
March.
feels like it rains every day.
Yes.
But our summers are pretty glorious, and you kind of can't beat them.
Oh, 100%. We've talked about that multiple times on this channel, that all the rainy days, it makes it worth it when we get to summer.
Yes.
And it is just spectacular. And we've talked about no air conditioning. I think that's one thing that will surprise people.
Oh, yes.
That there is a lot of homes don't have air conditioning. And we just deal with it. Most of the time, you're going to be shutting your windows in the evening. It's kind of chilly. Or it's going to be the sweatshirt short kind of thing, right? And then there are the rare 100-degree days, right? They don't last for long, but we do get them.
Yep. And it's kind of funny. I feel like we always kind of complain about the weather. It's either too hot or too cold or too rainy.
100%.
But
We just complain.
Yeah, kind of.
But in the homes that you and your boyfriend are building,
yes,
they're all central AC, right?
Yes.
So I think that just to say that a lot of the new construction, you're going to find that they do have the central air conditioning.
Yeah.
Let's do some rapid fire.
Okay.
We already kind of had one with the Pike Place versus Pike's Place. So one thing you may not know about the two of us, we both worked at Nordstrom,
Yes.
which is headquartered here in Seattle. We did not know each other there. But is it Nordstrom or Nordstrom's?
Nordstrom.
Yes.
No S.
No S. No, when in doubt, leave off the S. Is
Yes.
a good rule of thumb, right? Okay, so umbrella or no umbrella?
No umbrella.
No umbrella.
No
Absolutely
umbrella.
not, right? We just kind of forge through it.
Yes.
Maybe throw on a hat.
I just need a hood. That's all I
Just
need.
a hood. And it's not that big a deal.
It's not.
Because again, it's not pouring down rain. Does it pour? Sure.
I mean, there's not enough room on the sidewalk for everybody to have an umbrella.
No.
And you're dripping on someone else when you have an umbrella.
Yes.
And you're standing next to them.
And more importantly, if you don't want to look like a tourist, then leave the umbrella behind.
Yes.
We talked about the mountains. So when we talked about Mount Rainier, what do we call it?
Yes. The mountain's out.
The mountain's out. When we can see Mount Rainier in the distance, which is a good 2.5 hours away by car, that means the mountain's out. That means it's a crystal clear day, and it's just epic because almost anywhere in the region you can see Mount Rainier.
That's incredible.
Right?
Well, what's really interesting, you can actually see it from the top of Vantage in Eastern Washington on a clear day.
Nice.
And that also always takes my breath away. I'm like, oh my gosh, you can see the mountain from Eastern Washington.
Yeah, and there's hiking there.
For sure.
And I will never forget, they did this team building event at a company I worked at, Starbucks. And they took all these executives out for this like excursion to Mount Rainier. And I don't think they went up very high, but I remember seeing the video of it and all these seemingly powerful people, high level executives. I mean, the wind is whipping their hair. They just looked miserable. And I was just like, wow, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to appreciate the mountain from afar.
Yes.
So we've got a couple of universities here, some
Yes.
well-known universities. So how would a local refer to the University of Washington?
UW.
UW, absolutely. And then I've talked about this multiple times, but the Seattle freeze. I know you all are Googling it and you're like, oh my God, these people are the most unfriendly people on the planet. What's your perspective?
It's real, but I don't think people from Seattle realize they're doing it necessarily.
Okay.
And it's not malicious. I didn't realize I was actively participating in the Seattle freeze until I was called out by a friend who I had met at work.
Okay.
And she called it playing hard to get, that I played hard to get for a really long time to be her friend.
Okay.
Always the best of intentions. People are very friendly. They'll say hi, they'll smile.
Yep.
But beyond that,
it's hard to chip away.
It's hard to actually make plans. There's, do you want to go get a drink sometime? Yes. The intention is yes. They mean yes.
It never
But if you actually get a date for that,
put it on the calendar.
I would say just be persistent. I don't think anyone's being malicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it is real.
It is real.
Yeah.
I've heard other people say it's kind of on the decline. The more out of town, the more people you have transplanting here, so to speak, that it kind of goes away.
I would think so. That makes sense.
And you never did that to me.
Oh, see?
You didn't. We were like this from the start.
I know, right away.
So speaking of food or bars, what leaps to mind as if you were saying, hey, you're coming to Seattle, you got to go here to eat or drink.
Oh. Yes. Well, I would say you definitely want seafood. So I would go to Elliott's on the pier.
Nice.
I love Ivar's, good fish and chips.
Yep.
Maybe go to the Salmon House. Anywhere on the waterfront or on Lake Union.
Yes.
I love Duke's also. They're kind of rivals.
They're a little local chain.
Yep.
But they're good.
Yep. I also love a steak, so Daniel's. And any of the Daniels.
Yeah.
I love the one in Leshai. It's kind of quiet, a little bit sleepier.
And we will include links to all of these in the description below, so you can go check them out and maybe plan a trip here.
Yeah.
And eat around Seattle.
Yes. And we also have that fun summertime festival, the Bite of Seattle.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? You can go and put a lot of food away there.
Oh, yeah. It's
and
so
drink.
good.
Have you ever been to Chateau Saint Michel summer concerts?
Yes, I have.
Who did you see?
I don't want to tell you. My favorite band ever.
Who?
The Goo Goo Dolls?
Oh, that's all right.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love the Goo Goo Dolls. I saw them there. They were amazing. I paid way too much money for like very close tickets.
Nice.
Went with a girlfriend from high school. It was so fun.
So Chateau Ste. Michelle, for those of you who don't know, is a winery up in Woodinville, and they have epic grounds. It's just so
Amazing.
picturesque. And they do a summer concert series, so you'll see people like John Legend, the Goo Goo Dolls. My last time there was before the pandemic, and we saw, they were amazing, but they were a cover band. It was ABBA.
I love it.
And they have wine tastings, and they have a heavy pour for a tasting at those events, right? But it was super fun. Everybody brought picnic, and I mean, it was, some of those people were hardcore in their picnics, right? It was a big spread and all the things. We had a blast.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's so neat is you can bring a picnic in.
Yeah.
You can buy a bottle of wine and take it to your seat, or bring your lawn chairs and sit out in the picnic.
Yeah.
It's a pretty exceptional experience, I think.
Yeah, that is my default go-to area when people come to town. My favorite winery is Matthews.
I love that.
So it's this big rolling lawns. They've got all these Adirondack chairs out. It's just such a nice, calming, just cool place to just chill and have a really nice glass of wine, or 5.
That's fine.
Let's see, what else? Anything else you would tell our viewers about what it's like to live here, what you would do, hidden gems that we don't know about, neighborhoods within neighborhoods? You mentioned that before.
Yeah. So I'm a South End girl. So South End being South King County. I grew up, born and raised in kind of the Kent-Renton area, right on the border. So a lot of what I know is down there.
Okay.
I really love Covington, Maple Valley, Ravensdale. All of my friends who live in Black Diamond are going to get mad at me for mentioning this because they're trying to keep it a small town, but it's growing in a huge way. And they have a pretty cool planned community right now in Black Diamond that's going to be really cool.
So would it be safe to say like a young family might want to be attracted to those places?
Absolutely.
Good schools.
Good schools.
Nice.
Yes.
Easily accessible yet still sleepy and a little tucked away.
Yes, I will say traffic is going to be kind of tough because you're going Maple Valley Highway. It's, for a lot of it, one lane each way. Traffic would be the biggest downside to Black Diamond, but it feels very rural. You're really close to Crystal Mountain, and it is a really neat small town feel.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing I like. I live in Issaquah. We have a little small, very quaint downtown with some great restaurants, but it's kind of a throwback, right? You're not going to see an Applebee's, or you know, you're going to see all these cool local restaurants. And I think that's another hallmark of Seattle is we do really gravitate to those local businesses, whether it's restaurant, bar, boutique, what have you. Wouldn't you say that's true?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, some of my favorite places are hole in the walls.
Yes.
Right? They have the best food, the best vibe.
Yes. And I will say you do have a ton of them in Gilman Village.
100%.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
So many just hidden gems around here.
Yeah.
So we hope you found this enjoyable.
Yes.
You know, like we said, if you are looking to move to Seattle and want more information, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, jump on Zoom with us. We're happy to chat with you and help you make a smooth move to Seattle, whether it's next week, next month, or next year, or across town, across the country, or around the world. We're here to help. And that's one thing I know both of us love to do, is help people find their right home. It's more about the helping than the transaction. The transaction is a necessary evil, but we really want to see people get to where they go or want to go. So thanks for joining us today. We had a blast, and we hope you did too. So until next time, stay safe and have a good one.